Well, I'm Karen Stabiner. I'm the West Coast editor of The Counter, and this is week 8 of the Shutdown Notebook, a conversation with Gavin Kaysen, Minneapolis chef and restaurateur, who has 3 places that are open, but not the way they used to be. One of them is actually not open at all. They're doing takeout, just like everybody else in this country is, waiting to get the signal that it's okay for them to open up. Although, as he has said many times, open will not look the way it looked before. And we've talked a lot this week about diversity, about other revenue streams to bring into the restaurant. So today you're going to meet Gavin Kaysen, executive chef Chris Nye, executive pastry chef Diane Mua, and director of development Allison Arth. What's it been like to be separated from that restaurant family? You 4 are still working, but the 200 people who used to work there are gone except for about 20 of you.
The restaurant family has been so much an extension of everything that I've had. It's such a bubble, the bubble that we're living in of takeout, or the bubble that we're living in of COVID. It's just such a different world right now. And we're lucky because we can do takeout. We're lucky that we have a restaurant that's open and doing such a thing. But on the same token, we have to think about different opportunities and challenges that we have to face as a result. Like, what happens if, one of our team members gets sick?
I can speak for myself, and I think a lot of the people here that are working, being able to continue to work and being able to come into the restaurant and provide for people has given us a sense of normalcy, and I'm really thankful for that. And being able to support the restaurant group in doing so has been really fulfilling and kind of helping us to get by day.
While I absolutely miss their energy and just being able to see their faces all the time, it's been really fun developing writing relationships with some of them.
A lot of my words is, are they going to come back? Do they want to come back? How are they doing financially, emotionally, personally? Yeah, I miss them dearly.
I certainly would not have been ready to have gone through this had I not had the family I have today, especially on this call. And we all went through so much here at the opening of Spoon and what that looked like. And in many cases, hold on a second. Sorry, they're blending. But in many cases, being able to, I guess, have another chance to open up this restaurant again will allow me to experience it in a different way. Chris and myself and the other sous chef, Randall, at the time, we were here 7 days a week prepping every single station, making sure that the food was right. And Diane was prepping everything in pastries, and Alice was out front making sure that everybody knew what to do. And I'm not sure we ever had any time to even sit down and say, how are you? The only time that we'd probably sit down and talk would be at the end of the night, typically with a bag of Cheetos, and that was breakfast, lunch, and dinner, and talking about the day.
I'd like to know specifically what your biggest concern is, whether it's something logistical, something emotional. What is the worry that keeps you up at night?
For me, my biggest concern is really playing that line in between speaking to the guest and keeping them safe. But my responsibility is to keep our staff safe and and make sure that they feel good about coming back.
I'm also quite fearful of what the restaurant industry or community looks like as a whole, because we've already seen a lot of places closing permanently because of this. And then there's still going to be a lot of food industry people unemployed because, most places with reduced occupancy won't be able to hire everyone. Unemployed workers that have good training and jobs available, there's really nowhere for them to go. So what do? Do they change their profession? Do they do something else? And then once, all of this is behind us and we're able to open for full service, are those people going to be coming back to the industry? I think that more so than ever, this has shown how vulnerable we are.
When I imagine the future and think about what I'm most concerned about, I'm afraid that everything will change, and I'm afraid that nothing will change. I'm looking forward to, that indescribable and unrepeatable energy that comes from being in a busy dining room. the sound of cocktail shakers and plates and pans and people laughing and the collective energy of a room full of people connecting and finding joy in food. I really can't wait to have that again, to experience it and to give it. And that's the part that I'm most afraid will change completely. And when I think about nothing changing, I think about all the many things we're seeing surfacing all across the country in terms of, pay inequity that needs to be corrected and business models that are illogical and need to change. The way that undocumented workers are treated in our profession, I worry that as hard as it's hitting us now, we'll go back to the way we were sooner than we should. To me, fine dining goes hand in hand with luxury, and luxury used to be floor-length tablecloths and bone china and caviar and 18 courses, and even before COVID, but especially now, I think that there's nothing more scarce or precious than genuine, thoughtful, authentic human connection.
I think hospitality and nurturing of the community is a really integral part of what we do. We're a very essential link in the local food chain. I feel like restaurants like ours help to support many local farms, many local purveyors. Even though a lot of places are still open doing takeout, their business is down as well. So I'm fearful that many of them will not be able to come back from this, and it's totally going to change what our local food community looks like.
Do you have flashes of anger in the midst of all of this, that you're dealing with a framework where people really don't grasp all the things you've said about why this is important?
I don't get angry from it. I honestly just try to figure out how to be innovative from it. I think Diane hit on something that was important about trust. And I think that the guests in general are going to look for that. They're going to look for who are the people that I trust to go see.
A lot of people see us as always having high standards, always following protocols and all. So I think people will be excited to come back and they will trust us.
There's a vulnerability that will sort of be a little bit more pronounced in the future in restaurants that maybe wasn't as much before.
When we start to come out of this, I think that people would be well served by really thinking about what they value when they dine out. And if people want to see their communities continue to be sprinkled with this rich diversity of businesses, they have to make choices to go to those businesses.